Hello and welcome to another First Glimpse. This is for the Advanced 5th Edition or Level Up Advanced 5th Edition product, the Monstrous Menagerie II, Hordes and Heroes. This was a Kickstarter that I kickstarted a while ago. It just barely showed up. This is the successor to the Monstrous Menagerie, which, in my opinion, this is the best monster manual for any 5th Edition game. You could run monsters from this directly into Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition, either the 2014 or 2024. You could run it in Tales of the Valiant. You could run it in Advanced 5e. Any of the other, the 5e D20 clones. This is the monster manual that you want, that all the other ones aspire to be. So I was interested in seeing what the Monstrous Menagerie II would look like. So let's take a look at that and see what we've got here. Now, I should mention that when I backed this, I was still playing 5th Edition. I am currently no longer playing 5th Edition. Doesn't mean I won't ever play 5th Edition again, but I'm just not currently playing it. I wouldn't mind trying Tales of the Valiant. I wouldn't mind trying just a straight Advanced 5e game. I have used an Advanced 5e character in a 5th Edition game, and it was fantastic. I think I prefer Advanced 5e to just straight 5e. One, it's not produced by Wizards, but two, I think it's better. I've not played Tales of the Valiant, so I can't vouch for that, but it looks promising. But I'm a little burned out on 5e, and so I've been enjoying other things. Right now, my fantasy game of choice is Dragonbane. I also really like Shadow Dark, but I'm also doing a lot more of Call of Cthulhu, Traveler, Mothership, things like that. So stretch your legs a little bit. Don't feel like you have to be tied into one single system. That said, trying to convince your players to play something else is like herding cats. It is not always easy, but if you don't ask, you don't get. So anyway, off my soapbox, let's take a look at Monstrous Menagerie II. This, I don't even know how much this retailed for. I kickstarted it so long ago, I don't remember. But if it's like the first one, just get it. 309 pages, and we're just going to jump around here. What's really nice about the Monstrous Menagerie is just the way that the information is presented and what they give you. They make it so easy to put a monster into play. There's a couple of changes, looks like they've made. So they've added false rumors, initiative, and saving throws, not just the ones that have a proficiency bonus. Okay, good to know. What's cool about the monster entry, so you get a description, which is great, but you get the legends and lore, and it will give you, for the DC check, if you make a check, the sort of information that your player might be able to glean. Like, what do I know of that creature? And we'll make a roll, and then you can tell them what they find. Then you get a sample encounter and treasure, which is always useful. But then the monster signs, so that a player might know when there's a monster around. Let's take a look at some of these. So this is, again, just describing what you'll find in the stat block. And one other thing that's cool is you do get the combat strategy. What are they going to do in combat? There's some celestials, angels, shield wardens. Great artwork in here. Arcano cordyceps, an archlich. Let's look at this one. So here's your legends and lores. With an Arcana or history check, you learn the following. If you get 5 or less, you get a false rumor. If you get above 20, or 20 or above, then you get some useful information. And then it's got, for the encounter, it's got kind of what you might find with them depending on what challenge rating you want. And then signs, things that you might find that might key off the fact that there is an archlich nearby, which means run. You probably don't want to fight this thing. And it's random. You could choose one, or you could just roll a die, a d4, a d6 for behavior. A couple optional names for this. And then here we get into the stats. And the stats, it's your typical, 5th edition stat block. You've got AC, hit points. I love that it also gives you your bloodied value. Here are all of the saving throws. So now it has listed all of the bonuses to the saving throws. And then you've got, you know, your legendary resistances, things like that. And then you got the different actions it can take, reactions. But then you get into combat, and it will tell you what it will do. It will cast Maze and Disintegrate early in combat, and will reserve Power Word Kill to finish off wounded combatants. And so it kind of tells you how to play the Archlich, how to maximize it. And then, of course, they give you a variant on it, the mouthless one. Let's jump ahead to another. It's got Blight Giants, body bags, Carcines, cogs. I don't do a lot of clockwork stuff in my games, but it's there if you want it. Polycog, Crimson Spore Caps. It's actually pretty cool. Deep Goblins. You get into Devils, an Advocate Devil. Axia, Dominus, Indentured. Legion, Vindica, the Wing Devil, then into certain types of dragons. Now, dragons were covered in the other book. This one you've got some variants, Fey Dragons, and the Great Worms, and as I don't know if you can see, there are ribbons in here. Mosilith, the Diamond-Willed Diamond Dragon. It's a little too high fantasy for me, but it's in here if you want it. Spirit Dragon. Polychromatic. Again, let's just jump ahead. You don't need to see all the entries in here. The Primordial Knight, different Guardians, the Hooded Crow, Langabugs. So, is this necessary? Like if you play 5e, you have to get the Monstrous Menagerie. Is this one as necessary? I don't think so. It's got stuff that is kind of like Mercurus. It's kind of esoteric things that you know, if you just want more ideas, yeah, it's great. But this doesn't have the, you know, the general things that you're going to find in a fantasy game. But if you like foes to throw at your players, this is a great resource for that. And you can't do worse than having more things to throw at your people. I am a big fan of reskinning stuff, so I would just take a typical stat block and reskin it, give it a different weapon, a different attack, up the hit points, down the armor class, call it a new monster. I'm a big fan of that. Again, I started gaming in the 80s, and so we kind of had to make our own stuff up. But we didn't have, there was no such thing like drive-through RPG where you could just go have, your hands, your fingertips within, I don't even know where this metaphor is going. You didn't have all these things at hand, all these resources. So a lot of them, you just made it up. Plus I was young, so we couldn't afford to buy a bunch of stuff. So we made our own games. But nowadays you've got, a feast of options. And do you need this? I don't think so. But if you're playing Advanced 5e, I think you want it. If you're playing just 5e or Tales of the Valiant, it would be useful. So here's I kind of want to see, yeah. Here it talks about reskinning heroic monsters. So that's kind of cool. So you acquire a kobold companion or a wolf pet that you want to stay with you, and that companion can gain monster levels. That's a great idea. And so you could have these heroic sorts of monsters, like a bear companion or canine companion. Great idea. Or here's your buddy the fighter, and he levels up as an NPC. Very cool. And then the different conditions in the game. how to track them. One thing that Advanced 5e really focuses on, as well as physical conditions. You've got mental stress and conditions like that. And then you've got the appendix that everybody wants by challenge rating, that at least the first monster manual for D&D 5e had nothing like this. You had to find a homebrewed one. And then your appendix. So this looks like I'm glad I backed it. Again, I'm not playing 5e right now, but this is something that will definitely be utilitarian. It'll be a tool that I'll use. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you around soon.